जय हिंद दोस्तों, मैं हूं आशीष नारंग और आप सबका स्वागत करता हूं द ग्रोइंग प्रोफेशनल शो पर। जैसा कि आप जानते हो, हमेशा मैं एक इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक और एक फेमस पर्सनालिटी को अपने शो पर लेके आता हूं। आज मैं जिनको लेके आया हूं उनसे मिलके आपको बहुत खुशी होगी। मैं जानता हूं आप एक छोटे शहर से हो, मैं जानता हूं आपके सपने बहुत बड़े बड़े हैं, मैं जानता हूं कि आप कई बार स्टक हो जाते हो, अटक जाते हो, कई बार आपके अंदर इंफीरियरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स आ जाता है कि शहर के लोगों के पास फैसिलिटीज हैं, लोगों के पास फैसिलिटीज हैं, वो बहुत अच्छा कर पा रहे हैं, लेकिन मेरे पास फैसिलिटीज नहीं है, मैं छोटे शहर से हूं, लिमिटेड रिसोर्सेज हैं, तो मैं क्या करूं। आज जो हमारे गेस्ट हैं मिस्टर माधव भाल, ये हमारी एज ग्रुप के ही हैं। ही इज जस्ट 25 ईयर्स ओल्ड और इन्होंने जो जर्नी ट्रैवल की है वो मेरठ से माइक्रोसॉफ्ट। अगर आप कभी लैपटॉप यूज करते हैं, कंप्यूटर का भी आपने यूज किया है, तो डेफिनेटली आपको पता है माइक्रोसॉफ्ट इज द कंपनी जिसके बिना आप आज की इंटरनेट के इरा को, कंप्यूटर के इरा को इमेजिन ही नहीं कर सकते हो। इन्होंने अपनी जर्नी मेरठ से माइक्रोसॉफ्ट तक कैसे तय की, कैसे इनका करियर का ग्राफ रहा और कैसे इनको माइक्रोसॉफ्ट में जॉब मिली और क्या क्या एक्टिविटीज करते हैं, और आपको ये क्या सलाह देते हैं कि कैसे आप अपने ड्रीम कंपनी में जॉब पा सको, अपना एक अच्छा लाइफस्टाइल जी सको और अपने करियर में एक्सेल कर सको। तो ये सब इंफॉर्मेशन, ये सब नॉलेज शेयरिंग माधव बिल्कुल खुले दिल से आपके साथ करने वाले हैं। तो लेट्स वेलकम माधव ऑन द शो। बट बिफोर दैट मैं आपको ये बोलना चाहूंगा, अगर आप अभी बिजी हो, आपके पास टाइम कम है या आपके पास और कुछ करने के लिए, यू वांट टू लिसन म्यूजिक और डू व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू डू, तो इस वीडियो को स्किप नहीं करना है, इस वीडियो को जरूर देखना है, अभी नहीं तो थोड़ी देर बाद, जब भी आप फ्री हो, जब भी आप ट्रैवल कर रहे हो, या इसको आप ऑडियो मोड पे भी सुन सकते हो, क्योंकि इंफॉर्मेशन आपको एब्जॉर्ब करनी है, उसको इंप्लीमेंट करना है। इस वीडियो को मिस नहीं करना। तो आप क्या कीजिए, इस वीडियो को डाउनलोड कर लीजिए। डाउनलोड का एक बटन दिया होगा, आपको पता है कैसे यूट्यूब से वीडियो को डाउनलोड करके सेव किया जाता है। सेव कर लो और जब भी आपको टाइम होगा इस वीडियो को जरूर देखना है। इस वीडियो को स्किप मत करना अगर आप सच में अपनी लाइफ में कुछ रियली अचीव करना चाहते हो, अपने स्ट्रगल से बाहर आके कुछ कमेंडेबल करना चाहते हो। तो लेट्स वेलकम माधव ऑन द शो। Hello, Madhav. Welcome on the Growing Professional Show. It's really I'm loving to see you on the screen, and our students and our audience are very excited to know your journey from Mirror to Microsoft. You are doing wonderful, and you are icon for youth. These days, people are following you, people are loving your content, but nobody knows your journey. So we'll love to know that.
Thanks a lot, Ashish, and that's a good question. So I would love to share my journey with everyone as well. So talking about my journey, I would say that your initial phases helps you a lot when phrasing your journey in your long term as well. Talking about childhood days, from childhood I was actually keen and interested in exploring new things. In my 11th, I got to know about computer science, although that decision was something purely random. I did not have any future ambitions selecting CS in my 11th class. Like I could have gone for physical education as well, but something that anyhow that happened, and I got to know about computer science fundamentals and all those things, and I really fell in love with computer science back then. But then my actually ambitions changed a little bit, and then I started preparing for SSB. My dreams changed from becoming a software engineer to actually becoming a army officer. So that was my second goal, but then I failed there again. I could not crack the SSB, and then somehow I like that some things happened and I ended up in VIT as an ECE student. But then again, the thing is, when something does not happen according to what you planned, the God is planning something else for you. Always remember this. So this is the first lesson that I get from my journey, that if you have planned something, if you have planned to conquer some opportunities and you are not able to do that, don't feel bad, because there are bigger opportunities waiting for you at the other end, which you will never be able to accomplish or conquer if you give up on these small opportunities or any other opportunity. So always remember this fact that these things that you and any opportunity that you are not able to achieve at this point forward, in future you will be able to connect the dot, and how if you would not have given up on this opportunity, you could not have made up onto the other thing. So yes, now talking about that, I ended up as an ECE student, which is electronics and communication student in VIT. But then again, like that was nowhere close to my both dreams. my first dream was I wanted to be a software developer, and my second dream was I wanted to go to army and I wanted to join the armed forces. And being an ECE student, I could not find myself being close to any one of these because ECE is a separate domain. It's electronics. Now then, some things happen, and I tried my best to change my majors, and I was able to do that now. And then after first year, I shifted my majors from electronics to computer science, and then I became a computer science student. And that is again something which tells us that just keep working and things will start coming along your way. Unless and until you do, you won't find the solution. So yes, and then I was very enthusiastic kind of student in my second year, where I wanted to explore as many opportunities and as many things as possible. And then I found myself being a part of so many things that I somehow find that it was becoming difficult to handle. I was a part of NCC, I was a part of IEEE club and clubs, student chapter. I was a part of Apple Developers Group. I was a part of ACM and so on. There were so many things. And then with time, I found out that one cannot do everything. There are times when you will have to set your priorities and you will have to choose between the productive tasks versus unproductive tasks, and you will have to do more of those productive tasks. So yes, that was something where I had to make the choice between where do I need to clarify what I see myself doing in the next couple of months or next couple of years and so on. So again, this thing teaches us that you should not only cover the breadth, you should also cover the depth of the things. Generally, one major mistake which students make is that they try to get their hands in every possible area. They try to explore web development, app development, competitive programming, Android development, iOS development, cross-platform development, machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science, blockchain, cybersecurity, network security, and so on. They try to do everything,
Their hand.
but
Yeah.
yes, but at the end of the day, they end up doing nothing. So that is going to happen. If you try to do everything, you will end up doing nothing. So my advice for this kind of situation is be a jack of all trades, but a master of one or few. How can you do that? In your initial years, in your early stage of career, try to explore as much as possible. Try to explore back end development, front end development, anything that excites you, any domain that excites you, and try to do that for one month, 1 month this, 1 month that, or maybe a couple of months this, and next couple of months that. That is a smallest time that you can give to any particular domain. And after you do that, you can easily figure out which one would you want to go deep into. For me, it was front end development. I really loved front end development, so I decided to go deep into front end development and explored libraries and frameworks like React and Angular and so on. So yes, never make this happen that you know a little bit of everything, but too much of nothing.
Nothing.
So
Right.
always try to cover the breadth as well as depth, but give priority to depth. And yeah, so these were the two things which I actually learned from my journey.
Great. So wonderful journey, Madhav. It was very fantastic journey, and definitely audience will definitely follow this journey and get benefit out of it. Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So next question is coming in my mind. Like Madhav, you have got opportunity to work with Microsoft. Many students dream to work with Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and companies like these. These are the dream companies. So what is your advice? How they can make their dream come true?
Definitely, yeah, that's a very, very good and interesting question. So there would be only single advice, probably. So the thing is, in the interviews of these big companies majorly focus on your problem solving skills. So generally, as soon as students enter college, the thing that happens is they enter clubs and chapters, they enter technical societies where they get to work on real development, real projects. But the thing is, working on those projects, they lack basic problem solving skills, which we call as competitive programming, or in basic data structures and algorithms. So that is the fundamental of the computer science. So if you lack your skills in data structures and algorithms and you lack problem solving skills, uh, any coding interview is going to be really, really tough for you. Because the thing is, I'm not talking about startups which generally hire for those domains itself. Generally, For example, if a startup is looking for a web developer, that startup will, the recruiters from that startup will look for a student or a professional who is very good at web development itself instead of normal coding. So they will prefer web developers. But these companies don't hire for a specific role, they hire for a SDE role where you can work on anything, any opening which they have. So instead of testing your skills in a domain, like they don't test how much skills you have in React JS, they don't test how much skills you have in Android app development. All of these things are just the icing on the top of the cake. But they test your problem solving skills. So do not ignore, if you are a first, second, or third year student, do not ignore the value and importance of data structures and algorithms, competitive programming, because your first round is generally coding round, and then it is followed by the face-to-face interviews. If you can't clear that coding round, your Android projects, your web development projects won't be of any good use. So the in short, the thing is, do not ignore the value of data structures and algorithms and problem solving, and if possible, do as much of competitive programming as possible.
That's really great advice, Madhav, for being selected in these big companies. Next question I want to ask you: you talk a lot of time about doing projects, doing side projects. So why do you tell people doing side projects? What is the importance and how students can get benefit out of it?
That's again a very, very interesting question. So the thing is, your knowledge, your skills without implementation have no value. So at the end of the day, even in the recruitment process, or even if it's not any recruitment process, you will get to learn things only if you implement them. So trust me, I've done hundreds of side projects, very small projects. Some are big projects, some are small projects. But I get to learn things only when I implement it. Just reading through books, going through online lectures, just sitting in your class is not going to teach you anything, because that is not going to retain in your memory unless and until you implement it. Plus, that was one aspect of it. The other aspect of it would be your actual interviews. When you are sitting in front of the interviewer, your interviewer might be interested to actually hear about your projects. Trust me, I discussed a lot of things with my interviewer, like I made this project, I made that Android app, I made that website, and so on. And he was really, really excited to know about the stuff I was doing. And that adds a lot of your value in your skill set while you are sitting in the real interview. So these are the two aspects why your side projects, they need not to be commercial projects, and it's better if they are not commercial projects. Just for your learning, try to implement it. If you are learning front end web development, try to clone those websites. If you are learning Android app development, try to implement any idea of any app that you can get. Even if it's big or small, it's going to help you out. And the third aspect of it is your digital portfolio. If you push your code to GitHub, recruiters do see your GitHub account these days. They do see your GitHub profile, and trust me, that is going to help you a lot. So yeah, these were the three aspects of why. Yeah.
And on one side you talk about side projects, and another side you talk about side hustle. Students have a lot to do. Like they have their studies, they have their placements, they have their fun time, they have sports, they have their like friends, social aspect. So you also talk about doing some side hustle. So why you tell people doing side hustle and how it benefits?
I generally don't recommend overdoing things, as I told you in the beginning as well, that when I was in my college, I tried to do everything, and that is not a good advice that we should take. You should explore things as much as possible, but yes, you should have your scope limited to somewhere, and that is possible only if you explore. Even if you explore it for 1 month, even if you explore it for 2 months, or even for 15 days, and that is why I tell everyone to explore the breadth first, and then choose one or two things and go into the depth. And that's the whole reason why I motivate everyone to do as much as possible in the initial phases. For example, if you are in your first or second year, you have a lot of time. Trust me, first and second year students have the most amount of time, free time, that any human being can get in this universe. So yes, in your first or second year, you will have a lot of time, and use that time to explore things, use that time to freelance, use that time to build your personal brand on social media, use that time to build some things. And trust me, everything that you build someday is going to come back to you and give you the returns, even if it does not seem any immediate return. So these things are going to help you a lot. That was the first aspect. And second aspect is, again, you will get to know which things you like doing, and then you can make a choice easily on which domain you want to continue. And that is why I do this.
As I said, like there's so much to do. Like as I said, like studies, fun time, side hustles, and so much. How one can manage time? How? What are your tips to manage time effectively? Because we all have those 24 hours of time. Some people's like you are managing it wonderfully and getting great results. Some other people are not able to do that. So how? What is your mantra for time management?
So there are various n number of techniques which I have tried and which have worked for me. Some of them did not work for me, and some of them might work for you, and some of them might not work for you. And I have talked a lot about this on my YouTube channel as well. If you want to check out, you can check out youtube.com/the lean programmer. But yes, all in all, if I have to summarize, if I have to summarize what thing would work for you, what would be that magical mantra? That would be use your calendar. So if plan out things, plan out some time for some free time, some leisure time, some time for your studies, some time for your side project, some time for your social activities. Once you start using your calendar, you will see that your life will start becoming better and you will be in control of your time. And then the second aspect comes about it is the focus. How do we focus when we are actually doing one thing? Because our mind generally tends to wander when, for example, when we are working, we within 5 minutes we would feel that urge to check our Instagram or check our WhatsApp if there's a new message. So for that, I generally recommend Pomodoro technique. You can read more about Pomodoro technique. I'll to for the benefit of this video, that it should not go too long, I'll not talk about it. But yes, I'll give you this idea that plan out your calendar using the Eisenhower matrix. There's this thing called Eisenhower matrix. Again, if I go into the depth of it, it will take a lot of time. You can check out all the videos on my YouTube channel, but you can just Google it as well. It's a very well known technique to actually plan out your goals, to set your priorities. First step is setting your priorities. Use Eisenhower matrix to set your priorities. Second thing is actually working on them. Well, when you are working on them, first of all, before working, second thing is set smart goals. Smart basically stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So these five things, again, you can check smart goals on the internet. First thing was setting your priorities through Eisenhower matrix. Second thing is setting your goals through smart technique. And third thing is completing those things using Pomodoro technique. So keep these three things in mind, and trust me, it will help a lot.
Right. So for our audience, like I'm sharing the YouTube channel link of Madhav in description box. Go and check it out his channel and do subscribe as well. I highly encourage and very valuable content. I also follow his channel and have watched many videos, very beneficial videos. I recommend you to go and check it out. You'll love it. Okay, so next
Thanks a lot,
question I
Ashish.
wanted to ask is hackathon, because you have participated in many hackathons and you have been as a judge as well in many hackathons. This hackathons are becoming day by day becoming more popular and a great way for campus placement, for selection as a full-time employee or as a freelance or maybe as a intern. So tell our audience more, because many people refrain to attend these kind of hackathons. They said these are the time wasters. So what is your take on it?
Hackathons are absolutely essential, and trust me, these are the win-win situation. You don't have to go in a hackathon and win. Just attending the hackathon itself is a victory for you, because I'll talk about four things why hackathons are necessary. Firstly, when you go to hackathons, you are going to network a lot. Many judges from many different companies, even I have judged a lot of hackathons till now, and people have connected with me through hackathons. I had connected with many of the participants, and they are still in touch with me. They ask me their doubts and so on. So first thing is networking. You will get to expand your network a lot. You will get to network with industry professionals plus fellow students which are in your same which are of the same age group as you. Now second thing is, within 24 or 36 hours of that hackathon, you are going to build a good product which you can show off in your resume, or in your this GitHub profile, LinkedIn profile, or your online footprints. And even you can talk about this in your interviews. Trust me, in the interviews which I gave initially, I talked a little bit about those projects that I made in hackathon, and trust me, one of them gave me an advice to. One project was for autistic children, and that person even gave me our team basically an advice to actually go to the National Autistic Day or something. Like I'm not sure what was it, but they actually gave us an opportunity to represent that simple project at a bigger level. Although we could not because of the shortage of time, but yes, so it enables you to many online opportunities, offline opportunities, and all. So
Yeah.
that was the second thing. Now the third thing that comes from it is if you win, you are going to get interesting cash prizes as well. That's the whole that's the plus the stickers, swags, and all those things, many interesting things. And the fourth thing is nowadays companies have hiring started hiring through hackathons. So you must have heard about this term called hiring hack. So this hiring hack, a lot of companies actually start a hackathon, and in where they hire not only the winners but even sometimes the people who have made something very interesting but were not able to win. So yes, these were the four aspects, and trust me, hackathon is a win-win situation. Even if you lose,
Still,
you have won. Yeah.
you still won. Well, great.
Yes.
So you talk about the personal brand as well. You have created wonderful personal brand, specifically on LinkedIn, and now you are very much active on YouTube as well. So you are creating a brand, and definitely it's helping you, and it will help you in long run as well. So what are your tips and tricks for building a great personal brands?
Awesome. So that is something that is not that I would not be able to cover in this short amount of time, because building a brand is a huge topic which has many aspects: finding your target audience, finding your niche, finding what are going to produce content about, and how are you going to market your content, how are you going to release your content, and all those things. That's a very big major topic of discussion. But yes, we can divide this into a couple of minutes if I have to give the summary. First thing, why your personal brand is necessary, and second thing, why even if you are a high schooler, if you are a college student, still your personal brand is necessary. It's not something that you should consider as an extra activity. The first part would be that I'll be discussing about that, and second part would be how can you start building your personal brand. Now, why it is necessary? First of all, it can get you recognition, it can get you trust, it can get you credibility in your domain. Let's say if you are a web developer and you are producing content about web development a lot, people are going to see that content and have that trust in you that yes, he has worked on so many projects and I have seen his work. That's how trust is built. Whenever people see your work, only then are they able to trust your work. And when you produce blogs about it, when you publish your projects online and write blogs, write posts about that, that builds your brand and that builds your credibility. It enables you, it makes you open to more opportunities in that particular domain and field. And plus, the most important thing, it gives you more freedom to actually choose your future career. Well, without that, probably you would be dependent on your college or your or something, or your interviews or anything. But if you start building a personal brand, you will have more freedom in whatever field you want to go to. So I think that would motivate you enough to start building your personal brand. Now, how can you start building it? Very simple. The whole idea is to, so brand is something which already exists, even if you create it or you don't. So that's how yeah, there's a quote which goes like this, that start building your brand before they build it. So something like that. I don't remember the exact quote, but yeah, it is something, it is just a sort of it's just
Receive you.
something how, yes, exactly, how people see you as. And if you don't build your own brand, people are going to see you something, because that's how you as something, because that's how human beings are made, that's how we are built. We try to form a cognitive bias towards the things that we see, towards the thing, how we interpret thing, and our perspective towards various things, because it makes the process of recognizing people easy. So that's something inbuilt between us in the human beings. So
Right.
if you are not spending your time on that, it will automatically become by the activities that you do. For example, if there's a person who keeps sharing memes on the internet or Instagram or Facebook, people will start seeing him as a person who is humorous, who loves sharing good humorous content and something like that, and people will start, even though in real life he might be a very very sad person or depressed person, or anyways I'm not going to comment about that, but people won't know the actual you. People are going to see the things that you share with them.
Right.
So that is how you can start building your brand. You can by publishing content, by going live on Instagram, by going live on LinkedIn, by starting producing content. A simple way would be to start making blogs. Make a target of making a blog every couple of weeks. You can go to medium.com and start, create an account there, sign in through your Gmail itself, and start making blogs. You can write about anything that you know. For example, if you have good knowledge about data structures and algorithms, start writing about various data structures that you have worked upon. Start writing upon various algorithms which you have worked upon. Start writing upon various interviews which you might have given before, and so on. Anything which you have experience in, and start sharing those blogs on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a platform where recruiters exist, and they are going to see your work. And that is how, again, comes back to the why aspect. If you are sharing, it will enable you to be
I
open
love
to
the
more
point.
opportunities.
Yeah, I love the
Yeah.
question. Great. So one more topic I want to know from you, but this is very, very personal thing I want to know, the productivity. Lot of time, like we spend a lot of time, but we do not do any productive work. So how one can be more productive in their day-to-day life?
Again, that would come back to the same answer I gave before in the time management part. So I think Eisenhower matrix enables you to find out the tasks. So thing is, we have a lot of tasks, and not all of them are actually something which we should be doing. Even Warren Buffett talks about it, that only if you have 100 tasks, just figure out the five important tasks and do those. Not every task deserves your attention, and it some tasks are just unproductive busy tasks which are just eating up your time. So you should not be giving your attention to those types of tasks. How to figure that out? Just go to Google and check out Eisenhower matrix.
What I'll do is I'll share a link below, so like you can check it out what it is. I'll share some like link where it is explained in detail. So I recommend audience to go and check it out, and you get benefit out of it.
Yeah, definitely. So using Eisenhower matrix, it is Eisenhower matrix. Using Eisenhower matrix, you can get to know what your priorities are. It is basically dividing it. It's very, very simple technique where you write down your tasks and divide it into four quadrants. The first quadrant is for the tasks which are important and urgent, and the second quadrant would be of the tasks which are important but not urgent, and so on. There are three metrics. So you should do more of the tasks which are currently urgent as well, and some things which are important in the long run. So you can just check it out, and that will help you set your priorities right. And then while actually doing this, while doing your productive tasks, you should follow Pomodoro technique or any technique which helps you. And one more technique which is very very simple would be, like, which I follow, is whenever I start working, I just keep my phone in a separate room or somewhere which is hidden from me, and keep it on silent so that it cannot disturb me. So making the physical distance from your distracting elements can help. That's the most simplest technique that you can think of, and that works like magic. So yes, just keep a physical distance from the distracting things in your life while you are working. That can help you a lot in becoming more productive while you are doing those productive tasks.
Great. So, next question, and probably this is the last question from my side. I want to ask you about the resources you would like to share, because you have already mentioned name of medium, Pomodoro technique, and so on. So, what are your and definitely I'm recommending every one of my audience to go and check it out his YouTube channel and follow him on Medium as well. So, what other resources you recommend to the audience who want to make their career in IT domain, or in general, like for youngsters of our age group? What YouTube channel, what are books, or what resources you want to recommend?
So again, the answer would depend on what your goals are. For example, if your goals are freelancing, you might be following some different resource. If your goals are getting a job, you might be following a different resource, and so on. But since we are talking about the career, and also I would be thinking that you are talking about the coding interviews and all. So, and while talking about books, I would definitely prefer these two books, which are Cracking the Coding Interview, and the second one, which is Data Success and Algorithm by Narsimha Karwanchi. These two books are very good if you want to increase your skills in the coding interviews and the competitive programming and problem solving and so on. Now, if we are talking about the interviews in general, then I think you also have a book which is Learner to Earner, and that would be very, very good to read. And I would definitely need a free copy of
Yeah,
it.
here it is. Yeah. I'm having this book right with me. Great.
Yes, yes, I would definitely need a free copy of it. But
Definitely. Like
anyways,
I
yeah,
thought of meeting you sometime, but somehow it never happened. I'll courier you a
yeah.
copy.
So yeah, no, 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 no need for courier. We'll just meet once and then you can hand it over. I actually wanted to meet you as well, but then this coronavirus thing happened and we could not actually meet. So yeah. Anyways, so yeah, there are tons of resources online, and trust me, uh, whatever you need to learn, whatever you need in your life, it is already available out there. You just need to look at it. And then again, if you need specific resources based on like JavaScript, you can go for Eloquent JavaScript or You Don't Know JS. These two books are very, very good when it comes to JavaScript. And for every resource, image processing, network security, and so on, for every resource there are separate good books. So I can't list down them in a single video here, but I have majorly talked about the books or the resources which you would be needing. And then again, my point would be to actually spend more time in implementing things and actually solving those problems rather than reading the books. And you can use any platform: Lead Code, HackerRank, Hacker Earth, Code Chef, or there are endless platforms, but try to spend time in actually implementing them. And when it comes to interviews, try to have more mock interviews. Pramp.com is one of those websites which help you have mock interviews. So yes, try to have more of these mock interviews and more of these problem solving exercises, and that will help you a lot.
Great. Thank you so much, Madhav. It was wonderful connecting with you, and you have shared very much valuable information and knowledge in very short span of time. I highly recommend everybody to go and check it out his work on his YouTube channel. Follow him on LinkedIn. His LinkedIn platform profile link is also in the description box, and get connected with him. And whenever, if you have any questions, you want to ask anything more from Madhav, do comment in the comment section. Will share those questions to Madhav, and if it feels like, he'll create his videos on those questions and post it on his YouTube channel. So I recommend you to go and check it out, his LinkedIn and YouTube channel, both the things. Thank you so much, Madhav, for being on the show. Uh, I'm looking forward to meeting you soon, and keep doing good work. And it's really helping people, and definitely it is helping you as well. And best wishes are for you. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks a lot, Ashish, and thanks a lot for mentioning the point. Like, if you have any doubt, you can just reach out to me, because generally the thing is, your doubt is actually not yours alone. The Probably it's highly likely that whatever doubt or query which you might have, other people might also have the same. So it will help me give more ideas about what topic I should be creating more videos on. So yeah, thanks a lot for that, and
So,
thanks a lot for having me here.
thank you so much. Thanks so much.